Hey everybody, Chris with Night of Living Card Games. I'm back again for more Earthborne Rangers. Today we're up to day 14, and from day 13 I was tasked to go find somebody down in the swamps. So I'm going to be making my way there, but I am going to make a small detour. So I found out in the last game, so at the last game I ended up traveling to crossroads stations and camping. And then I uh, I found out that over here in Branch is somebody that can give me a boat, and so I'm not sure if I'm gonna need it for the swamps down here. But I decided it's a good. I think it sounds like a good side mission to go over to Branch and see what's going on. So my goal for today is to get the boat up here at Branch, and then if I'm lucky, to at least make it all the way down here to Mound of the Navigator, which is the start of the swamp, and then tomorrow I can work on the swamp. But first things first, let us check another day off the campaign tracker. So we are starting up day 14. So we are still in the Howling Winds. And I know last time I played in day 13, I forgot a lot of times when the weather flips over, I need to remember to take a second path card. But I did forget that a lot, so I am going to have to just try to remember better today. So that means for invasion, stage 1, that means it has now been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it has been 5 days since I got the mission. So we are now shuffling in those biomeld seekers whenever we go to a ruin, a forest, or a mountain location. All right, so let's take a look here. So we camped. So we're coming in to the Crossroads Station, which is a trail and a ranger station, so I do not have to shuffle those in this time. Crossroads Station sits at the confluence of several trails and paths leading through the valley. Built upon a well-preserved Estian ruin, the station is the vision of the artificer Bale Orlin, son of the legendary artificer Mora Orlin. He designed the exterior to reflect the symmetry often found in Estian architecture while paying homage to the nautical engineers of the ancient past, whom the Orlins hold in high regard as pioneering in artificing. Right? It has a presence of 3, it has a 3 per ranger progress threshold, and it has a test. Focus plus connect to describe what you're looking for to the villagers at the station to search the valley set for a human and shuffle them into the path deck. Right? And so the lead ranger draws 1 path card. But before I do that, I'm going to get my hands set up here. Let me give my deck a quick shuffle. All right. I got 6 cards here. Got my sketchbook, my boundary sensor, versatile, my reclaimer mucus, which I put in as part of my my camping, and Riri. Okay. So I like the sketchbook. I like the sensor. I don't think the mucus is going to be very useful right now. I'm not going to do versatile, so I'm going to keep Riri as well. I'm going to pitch my mulligan my other sketchbook. Draw 3 more. Walk with me. Paratrepsis whistle, and versatile again. All right, so I have my opening hand. So let us draw the path deck card just for coming here. Oh, it starts out with the cyclone. Okay. And now, so that's just the arrival set. And now we have to do the start of the round. We draw another one. It is a hungry scroff. Okay, so my turn. All right, so we are... Let us... We're going to spend 1 to get my boundary sensor out. Comes in with 4 sensors. Help me traverse. Because I want to move out of here quick. But that cyclone is just going to be a pain. So it's awareness and conflict. So... Oh, that comes in with 3 strength. I got to put that down. So I could try to go all in on that one and see if I can just get through that. That's 2, 4. Yeah, why don't I do that? So I am going to put my 2 awareness. I'm going to put a paratrepsis whistle, and I'm going to fatigue myself 1 to give versatile the conflict icon. So I'm coming in with a 4. I'm going to exhaust my ranger to dodge the scruff. So, all right, so I am a 4 versus a 2. Yep, 4 versus 2. That is a 0, so I do succeed, and I get to remove a strength for every 2 progress. Since I have 4, I get to remove 2 progress, taking it down to 1. So now let us see what... let's see what the red crest icon does for me. So nothing on the weather, nothing on the location, nothing on the missions. Let's see what the cyclone says. Move a card in the same area as this feature. If you move it within reach of a ranger, it fatigues the ranger. Right, well, there is nothing in the same area as the cyclone right now. So I literally dodged out of a cyclone. Let's see here. I don't have a lot else to do. Let's try to connect with the scruff. 2 versus 2. +1, so I succeed with an effort of 3. Right, getting that guy up to 3. Now let's see what the blue mountain does. Nothing on the weather, nothing on the location, nothing on the missions. Cyclone says, move this feature. If you move it to an area with no other cards, add 1 strength to it. Thankfully, there's another card there. And then the Hungry Scruff says, if there is another active predator, which there is not. All right, I was going to maybe do a, try to remember my ranger training, draw another card, but I'm not going to because I'm afraid of drawing another mountain effect. If it moves back along the way, it'll gain a strength. So I am going to choose to rest. Don't have enough to travel, so we just ready things up. Refill our energy. We draw a card into quiet. And now we draw a path card. Umbra. That's going to be obnoxious. All right, let's talk about Umbra. A dark shadow flashes over your head, and you duck as the shadow banks around and heads back towards you. You raise your hand to shield your gaze and stare up, quickly spotting the terrifying form of the massive raptor. Her body as big as a stilt horse and massive beak open in a terrifying screech. So it is a presence value of 3. It has a 4 harm per ranger threshold, 6 per ranger connect threshold, and has the persistent trait, so that means when I travel, this is going to come with me. And I can choose to do a spirit plus conflict threshold 3 to scare off the massive raptor to places being on top of the path deck. If you fail, suffer 1 injury. And then Yellow Sun says, if it's along the way, move it within reach and it fatigues me. And then red, if this being is within reach, exhausted and suffer an injury. Do not like. All right, that is unfortunate, but what are we going to do? So I am going to try to... use my awareness. Unfortunately, the only conflict icons I have in my hand are quiet, and I'm not going to spend it on here, so I'm going to chance it. So 2 versus 2. Nope, that's a big old nope. And Yellow Sun, okay. And I'll have to reshuffle weather. Add 2 wind to this card, and I can suffer up to 2 fatigue to add 1 fewer wind. I'm going to choose not to. All right, Umbra now moves within reach, and it fatigues me. So that is 3. 1, 2, and 3. Not fun. And nothing from those. This is unfortunate. I am going to spend 2 to get quiet out. And then I guess I'm going to spend 2 to try to connect with that scroff again. Shuffle this up. All right, do my shuffling here. Do, shuffle, do. All right, well. We are gonna shuffle up here. All right, one last shuffle. All right, so 2 versus a 2. Okay, +1, so that, well, that's a good thing. So that gets me up to 6. So I can at least get rid of the scroff. That'll help me a little bit there. Yellow Sun. Well, put another 2 on the wind. And so I got to remember, because I'm not going to stop that. I'm going to need to take extra path card this round. All right, Umbra. If this being is along the way, move it within reach, and then it fatigues you. Well, it wasn't, so. All right, and that stays where it's at. Okay. I am not going to take any more tests. Nope. All right, so I am going to choose to rest. So we refresh our energy. Draw a card, another copy of Quiet. That's actually handy. Let me reshuffle this again. All right. Dude. All right, so now We remove all the wind on this card, draw one additional path card next round, and flips the card. All right, so 2 path cards coming up. First one is a morning route. Don't care about that. Second one is the Whispering Fields. Okay. Honestly, that's fine because I don't actually care that much about things going underneath it because I'm just trying to leave. So that actually changes what I was going to do a lot. All right, we're going to try to just do the cyclone test. And I am not going to commit quiet to this because now I can scare off Umbra and put it underneath the Whispering Fields. Oh, I got to draw a path card and put it underneath it. So that goes over there. All right, so we're just going to go straight up. 2 versus 2. Sweet. 0. Okay, so first I get to resolve the effects of the test. So with 2 effort, I get to remove 1. That defeats it, so it's discarded. All right, now let's see what happens with the red crest. Ready 1 predator or prey. Okay, well, everything's ready already. Nothing on the location, nothing on the missions, nothing on the Whispering Fields. Here, though, it's within reach, so I exhaust it, and I suffer an injury. That's going to be obnoxious, because that shortens my day, and then nothing over there. Okay. So, I am now going to try to do the Spirit and Conflict test. So I'm doing 2 Spirit, and I'm going to commit my other copy of Quiet to this. So I am a 4 versus 3. 0, so I succeed. So scare off the massive raptor, place as being on top of the path deck. If I failed, I would have suffered another injury. Okay, red crest. The storm just says ready a predator or prey. There aren't any. Okay, so now I can make some progress. So I am going to try to traverse 1, 2, 3 using a boundary sensor. And I'm going to exhaust my Seeker card to dodge the Whispering Fields, which currently has a presence of 1. The Morning Route has a presence of 0. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. I got an injury, so my discard, I have to get rid of my discard. Or my fatigue stack into my discard. So there's 1 copy of Uru. All right. So I am a 4 versus 1. +1, so I succeed with 5. And Blue Mountain, nothing on the weather, nothing on the missions, nothing on the locations, nothing on the Whispering Fields. And Morning Route is if there is an active prey, which there is not. So that is enough for me to be able to travel. So I'm going to try to scout my path deck, or I'm going to try to remember my ranger training. So I am going to go for a focus test, 1 versus 1. 0, I succeed, so I can look at the top card of my deck. Oh, Healing Touch. Yes, I will leave it there, and then I will draw a card, because Healing Touch is nice because it will allow me to heal an injury from a ranger. Fortunately, not this turn. Red crest, I ready a predator prey. There aren't any. And then I reshuffle the challenge deck. Okay, so I'm going to rest, which fatigues me one because of my injury. And I am going to choose to travel. So I have enough progress. So I am going to travel from crossroads stations through the forest to branch. So I'm going to get that set up here. We have arrived at Branch. The town of Branch spreads out among the trunks and branches of the giant cedar trees and tough, wrinkled dolewoods. The whole village is a maze of platforms and narrow walkways, all created from tree branches, encouraged to grow together into dense mats, punctuated by spherical homes. Right, so Branch is a location, pivotal, forest, trail, and ascent. And because it's forest, Invasion Stage 1 says I had to shuffle the 3 Reclaimer Biomelds into the deck. So, not ideal. Has 1 presence, has 4 per ranger progress threshold on it, and it has a test on it, awareness plus connect, to search the treetop settlement to scout path cards equal to your effort, then draw 1 path card. And then arrival setup, search the path deck for the next feature and put it into play. Alright, that is the first one, Rotting Dolewood. Alright, goes along the way, has a 2 per ranger, 2 presence, 3 harm, 4 progress. It is an obstacle. It says if you clear via harm, discard each flora in play. Each ranger suffers fatigue equal to 2 plus the combined presence of all flora discarded this way. Oh my goodness, that is rough. You definitely don't want to clear this with harm. And oh look, the Blue Mountain effect says add 1 harm to this feature. If the weather is inclement, increase the number of harm added by 1. Ouch. All right, so that was the arrival step. So now we are into the refresh phase. So first things first, I'm going to flip the weather over because it only stays in the Thunderhead for 1. So we're back there. Now we ready all our cards. Put our energy tokens back. And we draw a card, which is Eagle Eye. Well, that's handy. And now we draw another path card. Cloud Hive Swarm. It is a being, insect, and swarm. Comes within reach. Has 1 bee on it. Has a presence and a harm threshold of X, where X is equal to the number of bees. And then it has a presence value, not a presence value, a connect value of 7. And then on refresh, it says add 1 bee to the swarm. You can add a maximum of 1 harm per test to the swarm. Ooh. And then red crest is if X is greater than or equal to your fit aspect, exhaust the swarm and suffer 1 injury. Alright, so right now we've got 1 bee going around. So my turn. That is going to change what I was doing a little bit. Because now we are going to spend 2 awareness to get Riri the Sparrowhawk out. And now Riri is going to do 1 damage to the Cloud High Swarm, which is enough to take it out. Was hoping to do a little bit of scouting, but that's just going to have to wait till next turn. I am now going to spend 1 spirit to play Healing Touch to heal 1 injury from a ranger. Don't want that slowing me down. We are now going to try to traverse that Rotting Dolewood. So I have 3 fitness energy and 1 of my boundary sensors. So I am a 4 versus a 2. +1, so I succeed with 5, which is more than its threshold. So I get to clear it. All right, Yellow Sun challenge effect is I add 2 wind to the Howling Winds. And then I immediately shuffle the challenge deck. All right. You know, I'm going to try to remember my ranger training again because I got nothing else to do. And there's nothing on the table that, I mean, the worst case is the Howling Winds flip over to a Thunderhead again. -1, so I succeed, but with an effort of 0. So I get to scout ranger cards equal to your effort, which was 0, and then draw 1. So I still get to draw 1, which is Hydralin's Goggles. That is very nice. Red Crest, there's nothing out that does Red Crest. So nothing left for me to do, so I am going to choose to rest, and I'm not injured anymore, so I don't have to be fatigued. I don't have enough to travel, so we are just readying everything up. Howling Winds doesn't have 3 wind on it yet, so I don't have to deal with that. We draw a card into my phonoscopic headset. Okay. And now we draw a path card. Reclaimer Seeker. Alright, it is ambush, so it immediately fatigues me for 2. Alright, so let us deal with this thing. So Riri is going to do 1 damage to it. Quiet is going to attack it for the remaining 3, but he takes 2 back, and that defeats the Biomeld. I'm going to spend 1 to get my phonoscopic headset out. And that, because I am going to spend 1 awareness to play Eagle Eye. So that allows me to scout 3 path cards and draw 1. And I will exhaust phonoscopic headset to do 1 more, so I get to look at 4 and then draw 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a Puff Crawler, Elder Tessoral Hail, a Cloud Hive, and a Kleptic Raccoon. Alright, well, I don't want any of those except, I guess, Elder... the Elder. So yeah, let's put the other 3 on the bottom. We'll put Elder Tessoral Hail on top. And then we will draw Elder Tessoral Hail. Let's see what the Elder has for us. You hear Elder Tessoral Hail speaking urgently with one of the branch villagers as you approach. Oh, goodness me. She was supposed to be here already. Why do you think she's late? You cough, and he looks up. Oh, hello there. It's good to see you, I'm sure. Clear Elder Hail with progress to ask him if he needs help around branch. 1 presence, 2 harm, 2 per ranger, threshold. He is friendly, and he has a test. Focus plus knowledge, threshold 3. Listen to the wisdom of the elders. To return a moment from your hand to your collection, to choose a starting moment from your collection that meets your aspect requirements for, and add it to your hand. This alteration to your deck is permanent. So you can basically swap a moment in your hand for something else, so it allows you to redo your deck. But I don't really care that much about that. All right. I was thinking about getting my sketchbook out, but if I do that, oh, this goes away. If I do my sketchbook, then I won't be able to get my Hydra lens goggles out, so I don't want that. So I'm going to try to traverse. Not that I want to go anywhere right now, but we might as well just have ourselves ready to go so we can just leave at a moment's notice. So I'm going to put 3 fitness and 1 of my sensors in. So I am a 4 versus a 1. 0, I succeed with effort of 4, so I get to put 4 progress there. So that is enough for me to leave whenever I feel like it. Red crest, nothing in the weather, nothing at the location, nothing at the missions, nothing along the way, and like all people, friendly people, the red crest is if there is a predator, the predator attacks them. I'm going to try to connect with Elder Hale. I don't think I'm going to try his mission, but I will give it a try. 2 versus 1. -1. I succeed, but only 1 effort. So, there. Blue Mountain, nothing. And I've got 1 awareness. I don't really want to try that because that would draw me another path card. So I've got 2 ways, either through the location or through Riri. I can try to scout the path deck, but I don't think I want to try that right now. So we are going to choose to rest. All right. We are on refresh phase. I'm not going to travel, so now we're at refresh. So everything readies up. The weather does not have enough on it to flip. And now we draw a path card. A dozing bear sloth. Being predator mammal. 2 presence, 5 harm, 6 connect, and it has various challenge effects. Not really a fan of those, but what are you going to do? All right, let's, first things first, let's try to reconnect with the Elder. So I am again a 2 versus a 1. -1, so I succeed, so I do connect with him for 2. So let's see what he has to say. Elder Hale sighs, twisting his fingers together. I'm sorry. I thought there were some other folks who have problems. I'm sure there are some other folks that have problems around here. But right now I'm worried about Vera. You know her? From White Sky? Lynn and I were expecting her to come get her new boat, but she never arrived. Suddenly his eyes lighten. Do you think you could look for her? Maybe she got lost or hurt on the trip. We either choose to help to gain the Search Vera mission, or we leave Vera to someone else, discard Elder Hale, and record 94.8 3 days from now in the campaign tracker. Ugh. I was hoping it could be a do nothing and recover some fatigue. Okay, so I don't think I want to leave that alone. Either way. No, I'm going to chance it. I'm going to be mean. I'm on a far more important mission. I got to stop the reclaimers from destroying Spire and potentially the entire valley. So I'm sorry, Elder, what's his name? Elder Hale. I've got to leave Veer to someone else. So 3 days from now. So 1, 2, 3. I need to read 94.8. Probably not going to be good for me, but it is what it is. All right, my turn. So I want to stay here and I suppose I don't really need the Hydra Lens goggles now that I've got Riri out. So I'm going to choose to do the test on the location. So I'm going to do awareness plus connect, and I'm going to use my Hydra Lens goggles. And I'm going to exhaust my ranger card to dodge the bear sloth. So I am a 3 versus a 1. And I'm going to exhaust my headset so that if I succeed, I get to scout 1 more. -1. So I succeed with 2 effort. So I get to scout 2 plus 1, so 3 cards and draw 1. 1, 2, 3. So Lynn Mira, Reclaimer Seeker, and Evergreen Hall. Well, Reclaimer Seeker's clearly going on the bottom. And then I'm going to put Lynn on the top with Evergreen Hall right underneath it. And now we're going to draw a card. Hey, look, it is Lynn Mira Woodworker. So I get to read 65. The sound of metal splitting wood as the scent of fresh sawdust wafts towards you as you approach. A woman heaves an axe up, sweat dripping from her brow. Around her are an assortment of finely carved objects lazily strewn on the workbenches and old stumps. She waves you over as she grabs a tool you've never seen before, a long-handled device lined in a power casing. To what do I owe the pleasure? She clicks a button on the handle, revealing a molten wire, humming with energy. Laser cutter. Bark of the dolewood is woven so tight you need to heat the surface if you're going to cut through it. She slowly begins hewing away at the bark of a long piece of dolewood. Next to it, you spy an intricately engraved collapsible canoe. The craftsmanship is spectacular. Clear Lynn with progress to ask her about the boat. 2, presence 4, harm 4, progress threshold. And fit plus connect against a threshold of 2 to gather wood with Lynn to add progress to a feature equal to your effort, then add an equal amount of progress to Lynn. Well, that is wonderful, other than the fact that I don't have any features in play. But I will next turn. Okay. I don't know if it's going to matter, but I'm going to have Riri ping a damage onto the bear sloth. There really isn't anything for me to do with the fit. There's no point in doing anything there. I don't have any spirit to connect anymore, so yeah. So we are just going to we're going to end our turn. So we're going to rest. The weather didn't change. I'm not injured, so we just ready everything up during the refresh phase. I don't flip the weather. Here, and we draw a card into my camo weave cloak. That'll be nice later on. And let us now draw a path card. It is Evergreen Hall. It is a feature, so that'll be nice. As you make your way across a long, narrow bridge suspended among the upper branches of the forest, the din of a crowd draws your eyes to a stout wooden hall ahead. Fir needles cover its exterior, crisscrossing to create a tapestry reaching up and around the dolewood's upper branches. Its ornate doors swings open to reveal a meeting hall, with different gathering platforms winding down the sides of the trunk. On every floor you see villagers drinking, reading, and talking of all the comings and goings of the valley. The scent of sweet ale washes over you. Near the entrance, a map of the valley hangs on a wall next to a board covered with handwritten messages and notices. All right. 0 presence, 6 harm, 1 per ranger threshold. Can do a spirit plus connect test to share stories with the locals, to search the valley set for any one card and attach it face down to this location, And then after you travel, put the attached card into play. That's handy. Okay, so that is now my turn. So let's get ourselves going here. All right, so we're going to start taking that fitness test, I think. Yeah, we can... So yeah, let's do fit plus connect against a threshold of 2 to gather wood with Lynn. All right, so I'll just go 3 versus 2. -1, so I succeed with 2 effort, so I add 2 progress to a feature. And I get to add 2 progress to Lynn. All right. That is enough to clear this. So I get to search the valley set for 1 card and place it face down, attach it face down to the location. And after I travel, I get to put the attached card into play. I am going to go get Ben Amon. Swift pilot. The reason being that hopefully I will be able to get to him and he can shoot me forward to 2 locations. So there you go. That's face down. All right. Challenge effects. Oh, this is 2, not 1. Yellow sun. So I go up here. I got to remember I draw 2 path cards next turn. And then nothing here. If there is a flora along the way, there is not. All right, so my turn, I'm going to try to connect with Lynn. I need to, you know what? As much as I like the sketchbook, I'm just going to go all in because I want to get the boat. So I am a 4 versus a 2. Whew, good thing I did. That is a 2. So that puts me up to 4. So that means I do clear her. So let's get that read up here. All right. As Lynn finishes stripping the log, she begins carving deep cuts into the tough bark, slowly running the rope back and forth, almost like a meditation. You ask her about her work, almost in a whisper as not to disturb the ritual. Been building these canoes now for almost 15 years. Handy little guys. Design's been passed down for generations. Collapsible, lightweight, and durable. Perfect for you lot. Come with me to the high basin, where there's the right kind of wood to be found. Now, I could carve it for you, but if you want her to take care of you, you need to know every notch and groove. Come with me, and I'll show you how to make one. If I agree, remove all progress from Lynn, and then attach helping hand. Well, I'm going to agree, because I want a boat. All right, so I have to get to High Basin. Let me check my map real quick here. Oh, High Basin is right next door. Perfect. All right, so that was clearing her, but now we got to do the challenge effects. Nothing from there. Let's see here. If there's an active predator, I exhaust the predator and add harm to this being equal to that being's presence. So unfortunately, she does take 2 damage. So not ideal, but that's okay. Now the bear sloth is exhausted, so I don't have to trigger that. So I think I'm going to end my turn, and I am going to choose to travel since I have enough progress on the location. So I'm going to rest and then travel, which means I'm going to get a whole bunch of path cards at my next location because I got to get 2 from when the weather flips, and then I'm going to get 1, probably going to get 1 when I get to High Basin, and then the start of the turn. So I'm going to be dealing potentially with 3 of them. So I'm coming up here from Branch, going up to High Basin through the old growth forest. So let's get our saws and woodworking gears in our packs and let's head out. And we have arrived at the High Basin. It is a location, a forest, a trail, and water traded. Because it is forest traded, our path deck does unfortunately have those reclaimers in them. Has a presence of 1, 5 per ranger threshold on it, and a fit plus connect test to swim in the crystal clear waters of the high lake to soothe fatigue equal to your effort. Right. Lynn whoops in delight. She sprints down the shore, and as you follow, you find her poking happily at a massive partially submerged tree felled near the basin's edge. "Take a look at this," she crows. "Dolewood," she raps it, and you hear a solid thunk. "You couldn't ask for better conditions. The bark is still perfect, and all this rot just makes it easier to clean out." Search the path deck for a rotting dolewood and put it into play. Rotting dolewood. That goes along the way. All right, Lynn lays out several tools and readies her saw. The energy blade flickers and comes to life. She gestures towards her tools. "Instead of standing around, why don't you take one of these and help? Finishing this canoe will go a lot faster with multiple hands." Clear Lynn with progress to complete the canoe. All right. Oh, and because I did travel, Ben Amon is out as well. So we've got 2 friendlies up here. All right. So the lead ranger, search the path deck for the next flora and put it into play. Whew. Good thing that didn't happen. Because this is not flora, right? Yeah. Whew. Okay, the flora is the Dolewood Canopy. Goes along the way. Feature flora Ascent. 1 progress, or 1 presence, 8 harm, 2 per ranger threshold on it. And it says, while your token is on this feature, treat each card within reach as exhausted, but you cannot add progress to features or the location. Fit plus knowledge 2 to climb the towering trees to get your bearings to either move your ranger token to this feature or remove it from this feature. If you fail, suffer 1 injury, because I guess you fell off the tree. Okay, so that was the travel phase. Now we're in the refresh phase. So let's get all our energy back. We got to flip this over. We're back to a Thunderhead. Clean this up a little bit. Now we draw a card. Reclaimer Mucus. So we've got a Camel Weave Cloak, a Walk With Me, and then the Reclaimer Mucus. All right, now we're drawing 2 path cards. First one is Cloud Hive Swarm. Comes in with 1B. Second one is a Cloud Hive just a cloud hive. So this is feature, prey, lair, and food. 1 presence, 4 harm, 6 connect, or 6 progress on it. Response, after adding 1 or more harm to this feature, add 1 bee to each cloud hive swarm in play. Yellow sun is, if there aren't any cloud hive swarms, go get one. And then the blue mountain is, if there's an active mammal, exhaust it and add progress to it and harm to this feature, both equal to the mammal's presence. All right. So I think... Well, first things first, let's have Riri do a damage to the Cloud Hive Swarm, and let's just get rid of that, first of all. Second, let's try a traverse test. So we're going to use 3 fitness energy and 1, our last boundary sensor. I am going to... do it on the Dolewood Canopy. So I am a 4 versus a 1. -1, so I succeed with 3 progress, which is going to be enough to clear it. And at the same time, I'm going to spend 1 spirit energy to walk with me. So after you succeeded a traverse test, add progress to a being equal to your effort. This is in addition to the test's standard effect. So I get to add 3 progress to a being, and I'm going to choose Linmira. So we're at 3 out of 4 there. That does clear the Dolewood Canopy. And now we have to take a look at challenge effects. So nothing from the weather, the location, or the missions, the Cloud High Swarm, and the Dolewood do have it. So what does Dolewood say? Add 1 harm to this feature if the weather is inclement, which it is. Increase it. Or at least I assume it's inclement. Yep. So we got 2 on there. Not great. Cloud Hive Swarm, if there is an active mammal, which there is, quiet is a mammal, exhaust it, add progress to it, and harm to this feature, both equal to the mammal's presence. So, I mean, I'm not going to do anything with presence on quiet, but okay. So quiet went and just kind of chomped on the Cloud Hive. All right, so that was that. So let us try a connect test with Lynn. Yeah. As much as I like the Camo Weave Cloak, we're going to try it. 2 to 2. +1, bang. So... All right, so that's a success with 3 progress. So this goes up to 6, and that is enough to clear her. So let's read here. If Helping Hand is attached, it is. As you plod your way through the underbrush, you look at the horizon. You turn to Lynn and ask about the Dolewood canoes and the journeys ahead. She slows a bit and turns to you. See, folks need these canoes, especially with the rains and the spawning season coming on. A ranger could use one of them too. Collapsible, lightweight, and strong. If we keep on... Oh no, hang on a second. No. If you're at... Oh, okay. There was one for if you're at High Basin. Okay. With a gentle nudge, you lock the last panel of Dolewood into place. Take a breath and step back. Lynn gives you a satisfied nod. You look up and realize you've lost track of time. The carving process was so engrossing it felt as if time slipped away, like a silent stream flowing on towards dusk. She eyes your work admiringly. I must say, I'm impressed. Took me more than a few goes before I managed to make something like this. You thank her for the compliment and her help, and she clasps you on the shoulder. Of course! Should be rapids ready. Try collapsing it for storage, and if you'd like, there's a creek about a mile east of here that you can give her a test run. Gain the Dolewood Canoe reward card, discard Lynn, and return a helping hand to the collection. Write carved Dolewood Canoe on the campaign tracker. All right. So we can get rid of these two. Lynn's gone and Helping Hand's gone. Unfortunately, I can't use the canoe yet because I have to camp before I can actually use it. Or get it into my deck. So here we go. So Dolewood Canoe is a 2 fitness, requires 2 fitness to even have. Thankfully, I've got 3. Gear takes up 3 spots. It says setup, which just comes into play on setup, I guess. You may travel on river paths. While your token is on this vehicle, treat the presence of all water features as 1 lower and the presence of all non-water features as 1 higher. Fit plus explore to board the boat to move your ranger token to this vehicle and return it to your role. All right, so now once I rest, I'll have a canoe so I can start going through the river paths. All right, so that was that. Now we have to take care of the challenge effects. So nothing in the weather, nothing in the location, nothing in the missions. Cloud High Swarm is same thing. If there's an active mammal, which there is not, people are not considered mammals. So Quiet is already exhausted. And the Dolewood says add 2 damage to it and obstacle. And if that'll be enough to clear it, and it says discard each flora in play. Each ranger suffers fatigue equal to 2 plus the combined presence of all flora discarded this way. The Cloud Hive is not considered flora. So I still do take 2 fatigue, though. All right, so that was my turn. Sure. I'm down to 1 card in my hand, so I'm debating on whether or not I just, I can't leave yet because of that. So I'm debating if I scout the path deck, but no, I don't think I'm going to. I'm gonna try to remember my ranger training to draw a card. I succeed, so I get to look at 1. Oh, actually, I suppose I can do that because that is scouting my own ranger card. So that is 2. So my sketchbook or another headset. I will put the sketchbook on top. I will put the phonoscopic headset on the bottom. And I'll draw my sketchbook. Now, let's see here. Lightning strike startles a creature to alertness, ready 1 predator or prey. No predator or prey is in play, and nothing on the Cloud Hive. So I'll spend 1 to get the sketchbook out. 2 sketches. Sure, I'll try to sketch Ben Amon. So I am a 1-to-1. +1, I succeed, so I get to add 1 sketch to the book. Now, Blue Mountain. There is no active mammal. Darn, I could have gotten rid of that. All right, I got nothing else to do, so I'm going to rest. I don't have enough progress to be able to leave, so we're just going to ready everything up. And get my energy back, draw a card, which is another Riri. So I've got Riri the Sparrowhawk and a Reclaimer Mucus in my hand. That is it. And the weather flips back over. And now we get a path card. It is a Kleptic Raccoon. So 1 presence, 2 harm threshold, 4 connect threshold. It is a being, prey, and mammal. It has 0 loot on it. Awareness plus connect to keep 1 eye on the raccoon and another on the path to exhaust this being and add progress to it equal to your effort. If you fail, draw a path card. If you clear with progress, search your ranger discard for a gear and add it to your hand. And then Yellow Sun is discard and equip gear and add 1 loot to this being. If there are 2 more loot in this being, shuffle it into the path deck. And then Blue Mountain, if there's an active predator, exhausted, add damage. So the predator attacks. Okay. So my turn. All right. So if I do focus, focus plus connect 3 to get my ranger to that. I don't have any connect icons in my hand. Darn it. Okay. So I got choices here. I want to real quick just see what gear is in my discard pile. My camo weave cloak, my sketchbook. Ooh, the sketchbook, that has got hearts on it. Paratrepsis whistle. So if I did that, if I could do that, I could get my sketchbook back. Yeah, but I would need 4 progress, and there's no way I can do that in 1 turn. How do I want to do this? I don't have a lot of time here before my deck runs out, so all right, we're going to try it. So we're going to do the awareness plus connect. I'm only going to use the 2 awareness energy to keep an eye on him. So I'm at 2 versus a 1. 0, I succeed with 2 progress. All right. Red challenge effect. Nothing from the weather, nothing from the cloud hive, and the raccoon is not a predator. So right, now I'm going to try to connect with the raccoon. So again, I don't have any icons to throw at it, so I'm just a 2-to-1. +1, I succeed. So that is a 5. That is enough to clear it with progress. So I get to search my ranger discard for a gear and add it to my hand. That is going to be that sketchbook, since it has 2 connect icons. So I have a shot of getting Ben next turn. Blue Mountain. Oh. If there's an active mammal, there is now. exhaust it and deal damage to this feature. So that is 2 more damage. So that means Quiet just ate up the Cloud Hive. Thanks, Quiet. I'm going to try to remember my ranger training to scout path cars, and I'll exhaust this. So I'm 1-1. +1, so that means I succeed with an effort of 2, and I get to scout 1 additional one with that, so I get to look at 3 cards. Give me some heart icons. Okay. I'll take... Alright, so I am going to put Walk With Me, and then Healing Touch. And then I'll put Eagle Eye on the bottom. So I get to put them back on the top in any order. I draw one. It is going to be Walk With Me. And Red Crest doesn't trigger. Alright, so I'm not even going to bother with taking a test with fitness because hopefully next turn I should have him. So I am going to rest. Can't travel, so we just ready everything up. Draw a card. It is my Healing Touch, so I got another icon, and now we draw a path card. Cloud Hive Swarm. My turn. Riri goes and does a damage. Takes it out. Alright, I am going to do my focus plus connect test, so against a threshold of 3. So I am pitching 4 icons plus my 1 energy, so I'm a 5 versus a 3. 0, I succeed, so I get to move my ranger token here. I just realized I didn't read Ben's entry when I came in, but that's okay. So let me read his clear entry now. After some discussion, Ben gestured towards the Swift. "Climb aboard," he says. "The elders asked me to run these supplies across the valley as quickly as possible, but the winds are favorable today. I should be able to make your journey a little easier and be back to Lone Tree by sundown. Now where to?" You may immediately proceed to the travel phase of the round. If you do, you can travel to any location within 2 paths. Use the terrain type of the last path you crossed. If you choose to travel this way, discard the current challenge card and do not resolve the remainder of the test. I am going to choose to travel. Now here's a question. Can Ben Amon travel across river? I'm going to check on that. I'm going to pause this and go check. All right, I'm back. So I did some looking on the Earthborne Rangers Discord channel, and apparently originally Ben Amon would be able to travel you over rivers, but they had made a... They made an errata to him so that you can't. And apparently the reason being is effectively Headwater Station here you can only get to via river. So if you went there and didn't have a canoe, or like me, I have the canoe but it's not in my deck yet. If I went to Headwater Station, I would be trapped there. So that's kind of why they did it. So I will stick to the rules as written and not go down the river path, although that would get me exactly where I wanted to go, but where I wanted to end the day. So instead, I'm going to travel... so 1, 2, or I can go... I'm going to travel 2. I'm going to go from the High Basin to the Furrow, and then I'm going to go down to the Terravore. So I am going to set up the Terravore with the Ravine set and try to get through there real quick so I can get to the Mound of the Navigator and Ooh, I only have 3 cards, so I'd only have like 1 turn. I don't know if it's better to rest. Just travel and rest just so I can get to the... travel and rest so I can just get the canoe in. That might be better. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to travel to... I'm going to use Ben to fly over the burrow or the furrow and hit the Terravor. And I am going to choose to camp for the night because I want to get the Dolewood canoe in my deck before I hit the marshes. So I didn't quite down where I had hoped to the mound of the navigator, but close enough. I didn't want to. I haven't been to Terravor yet, so I don't know what it's going to take to get through there. So I didn't want to take the chance. So we're gonna camp at the Terravor tonight, and then we'll pick it up on day 15. Well, for those that watched, thank you very much. If you made it all the way to the end, I really do appreciate anybody that watches any of my videos. Thank you so much. If you like it, go ahead and hit the like button. You want to see more of Earthborne Rangers, Marvel Champions, Dune, Imperium, Kinfire Chronicles, or other games, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If there's anything else you want to see, this game, other games, go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thank you all for watching and have a great evening.